Business and self-limiting beliefs. I want to tell you guys a crazy story about this old man I ran into when I first started my business, and how self-limiting beliefs had held this guy back basically his entire life. So this was a couple of years ago when I was still, in business, still trying things. I wasn't making too much money, but I was making money. I was making enough money to where I was starting to live a bit more comfortably and starting to build my business experience. But one day my truck was leaking. There was basically like a coolant line or like a transmission fluid line leaking in the truck. And I had to get this part for my truck from the Ford dealership. And so I went, I couldn't get it online. I had to go to Ford to get this part. So I go into the dealership, right? I see this old man at the counter. And I'm talking, this guy's probably like 70 or 80 years old. And I come in for the part for my truck, right? And I remember that the hose that you couldn't get in online, it was very scarce. And I remember when the old man was bringing me the hose, I told him, I was like, "Oh, dude, someone would make a killing off of these hoses. If someone was able to make these hoses and sell them online, they would make a bunch of money, basically, because this hose is a common hose that goes out, but there was no aftermarket product for it, right? Just like there's a lot of auto parts out there that are made aftermarket, this hose hadn't really been manufactured by any company yet." So, and I just remember the old man, and when I came to the Ford dealership to pick up this part, I just got done doing a job, right? Doing a detail job in my detailing business. And I made like $500 or $600 that day, cash in my pocket. I remember when I told him that, I was like, "Man, someone would make a lot of money making these hoses, selling them." And I remember the old man looked at me, he said, "It's too hard to start a business nowadays. Too many regulations." I remember he had this like sad look on it, or this like almost angry and sad look on his face. Obviously, I didn't tell him I was a business owner. I never mentioned anything about me being a business owner. But I remember he said that. He said, "Too hard starting a business nowadays, too many regulations." What the fuck does that... I want you guys to really think about this story that I'm telling y'all. It's very important. There's a lot of things that we can get from that sentence, from that man's mindset, right? The fact that he was old, working behind the counter at a dealership, just some clerk, right? And then the fact that he said it's too hard to start a business nowadays, right? And it's crazy. Like, there's business owners everywhere. There's people with landscaping companies. There's people with all sorts of businesses. There's people with cleaning companies like me. I have a cleaning business. There's people with all sorts of businesses everywhere. When you're a business owner, you'll end up meeting other business owners. Hell, I met some lady the other day who has a business where you scoop up dog poop in people's yards. Yeah, it like barely costs any money to start scooping up dog poop. But I'm going on a tangent. And then the second part of that sentence, he just said too many regulations. Like what? I mean, like what regulations are we talking about? Like, what's stopping you from starting a business, right? These regulations. And what we can get from that guy, I instantly knew this guy's mindset the second he said that. Like, this guy is the epitome of self-limiting beliefs. And I don't want you guys to end up like this old man working at the dealership, because if you don't start a business, if you think it's too hard, "Oh, I don't have the money, I don't know how to do taxes, I don't know how to do this, it's too hard to start a business." If you think like that, you're going to end up like that old guy. You're going to end up working some wage cook job, some 9-to-5 job, barely being able to vacation, barely like not being able to make your own schedule, like slaving away for some other guy, making him rich instead of the other way around, having someone else work for you, making you rich. And I wanted to tell the old man, I really did. In that moment, I wanted to tell him like, "Oh, hey man, I'm 23 years old, or I'm 22 years old, and I actually have a business." But the way this guy's demeanor was, like, I could tell, like, this guy's aura, his energy that he was projecting, You know, he also seemed very inconvenienced that I came in to order this part or to get this part. Like, he didn't smile at me. He didn't make any small talk. I tried to make small talk with him, and he shot me down with that quote. But his aura he gave off, his energy vibe, was almost like he just hated his life, right? And that's exactly where you're going to end up working those jobs. You're going to hate your life. You're going to clock into work every day with that dread, right? You know, you ever work a job and you're literally dreading it? You don't even want to get up out of bed because you're not excited. You know, you're going to have to go and put in 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours at some job that you don't even enjoy, at some job that gives you no fulfillment whatsoever in your life. And you're getting older and older and older every day, just like that old guy, right? It's too late for him. That old guy, he's probably like 80 years old. He's gonna stay where he's at. He's not gonna start a business. He's already held himself back his entire life. And that's what's crazy, because he's such an old guy. Like, think of it, if you're a young person watching this, if you're young like me, if you're like 25 years old, 20 years old, 18 years old, even younger than that, 30, 40, even 40, 50, right? If you're someone that still has years left in their life, that still has a lifetime ahead of them, I urge you to start a business. I urge you to accept that there's going to be failures and fuck ups and all sorts of other things. And yes, you're going to have to learn how taxes work. Yes, there's going to be shitty days. Yes, it's scary. You could go bankrupt. You could run out of money. It happened to me before. Literally my first 2 businesses, I literally ran out of money and fucking had basically went out of business twice before my 3rd business took off, right? Like my current business is my 3rd business attempt. It's a cleaning company, right? Technically it's a detailing service / cleaning company. I kind of do both, but it's a hybrid company. We clean cars and shit, and we clean offices, okay? But my first 2 businesses failed. I had a mobile mechanic business. That was my first business. I started as a mobile mechanic, right? I was posting ads on Craigslist. You know, before I even knew anything about advertising, I was posting on Craigslist. And guess what? I was getting calls. I was getting auto mechanic jobs. I was getting referrals. But being a mobile mechanic sucks, right? I didn't know what I was doing. I was a novice apprentice mechanic at that time. And, you know, I made a little bit of money, but I didn't make much money. It was a very chaotic job. But I ended up running out of money after a few months of doing it. I did it about a few months. And I lived off of that before I finally ran out of money. And my second business was also a cleaning business. It was house cleaning. And I just had a lot of self-limiting beliefs. That business actually fucked up. I survived for 9 months doing that, running a house cleaning business. I didn't have no employees or nothing. It was just me, right? I was cleaning houses, and I ran out of money because I was smoking weed. I was playing video games. I was getting drunk every day. I was not doing the things I should have done for the cleaning service, and that business failed because I was just a fuck up. And it was my fault. It wasn't the market. It wasn't the business. If I was who I am now and I started a house cleaning business, I would succeed. I'm telling you right now. So that's why I say, if I just gave up after those first 2 businesses, if I just fucking threw in the towel and said, you know what, this business shit, it ain't for me. It ain't working out. I'm just going to go back to working at fucking Walmart, right? Because I've worked at Walmart, I have worked as a fucking dishwasher, I have worked in construction, I have done a bunch of shitty jobs. I've been a mechanic. I have done a bunch of shitty wage cook slave jobs in my existence. I've been working since I could work, since I was 15 years old. My first job, I was a dishwasher at 15 years old. And I remember I got fired. I got fired my first week at my first job, 15 years old. And that was a pretty rough fucking introduction to the working world. But 2 weeks after that, I found another job, right? At another restaurant. So Guys, don't fucking give up. Don't throw in the towel. And in fact, I want to give you guys an update on my online business. So recently I've been growing an online business, right? A course. I sell information. It's not for self-improvement or anything like that. It's for something else. But it's business advice, basically. And I just had my first month where I made money on that course. I've been working on this course in this online fucking community for a year. For a year fucking straight, I've been working on this shit. Yeah, not every single day, right? You know, just whenever I can, whenever I can get it in, I've been putting work into it. But it's been a year that I've been working on this shit. And there's been so many times where I almost fucking quit on this shit because I wasn't making money. But I was getting a little bit closer, little by little. First, I was making the course, I was recording the videos, then I was editing the website, working on the ads and shit. I started posting content. I was getting my subscriber count up on those other channels. I was doing all that. And yeah, you know, I was just putting in the reps, right? I wasn't making no money. And now a year later, right? A year later, there was a bunch of fucking bullshit. You know, I would have client calls. I had problems with the pricing. I had fucking web development problems. I had stuff that happened to me in my life that had derailed me for a bit from focusing on the course. And yeah, like I said, I almost threw in the fucking towel. There was a couple times where I was like, you know what? This fucking course ain't making me shit. It's probably best if I just fucking gave up and just said, you know what? This course ain't making me money. It ain't worth it. It's just a waste of time. But I knew that there was a demand. I would get messages. I would get followers. I would get people asking me advice on this type of business that I'm running. I would have people wanting the knowledge. But I just didn't know how to reach them. I didn't know how to sell them. Well, I'm proud to announce, guys, that this month, I finally started making money off of that shit. And I made $100 today. Like, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but for me, after working for a year, $100, right? That's just for today. That's not for the whole month. I'm just saying for today, I made $100. Someone bought the program, paid me $100. I was sitting on my computer. And I've had a dream of running an online business since I was a kid. I've always dreamed of that. I always dreamed of making money online. Always. And my dream has came true. I'm making money online. This thing that's so unattainable. This fucking thing that everyone wants. Everyone wants to make money online. Everybody wants to. Right? Who doesn't want a fucking online business that pays them while they sit around? Well, it's not a lot of money. I ain't fucking rich yet, guys. I ain't in Dubai yet. I'm still in the grind, but geez, man, I almost gave up a couple times. And I'm so fucking glad that I did not give up. And that's what I'm saying. Don't be that fucking old man at the dealership, right? Remember this story I'm telling you. Don't be that guy that says business is too hard, that says there's too many regulations, blah, blah, blah. There's too much fucking bullshit and hoops you have to jump through. You know how many people in this course I'm selling are freaked out to start because they're like, oh, but you need insurance, right? Right? Like, I can tell they're scared when they're asking me, they're scared to start making money because they're, like, scared about paying for, like, the business insurance. And it's like, dude, that's such, like, a small, like, stupid fucking, like, thing to think about. Like, you're fucking scared. Like, that's what's holding you back. Business insurance. You're scared of paying fucking insurance. Or, like, operating without insurance. Like, who gives a fuck, guys? Like, fucking either start making money without the insurance or just fucking pay for it, dude. Like, it's crazy. Like, when you've been in business, when you're making money, when you see other people with that self-limiting belief, right? That they can't make it, that there's something stopping them. It's all in your mind, guys. It's all in your fucking mind. It's all obstacles made up by your mind. Yes, it's hard, right? Like I said, I spent a year on this fucking course before I even made shit. So, I'm not saying it's easy, but all I'm saying is be consistent and don't throw in the towel. Now, if you want some business coaching, I actually do have a coaching link down below to my Calendly. If you want to talk one-on-one with me, if you're someone with a self-limiting belief, if you want to start a business, whether that's online, whether that's in person, I'm kind of an expert now in like service businesses, local service businesses, you know, cutting grass, cleaning businesses, that kind of thing, you know, whatever. Please book a call if that is you. Otherwise, leave a comment, leave a like, share the video, check out my other videos. I have a bunch of free content on this channel. I don't get a lot of views, which I just gotta make more videos. That's it. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna blow up. But check out my other content. I have fucking tons of advice. I have tons of fucking gems, I guess you could say, for you guys. And yeah, book a call. If you're having, and I'm not just good with business, like if you're having substance abuse problems, like that's another thing I teach is self-improvement. So if you're having self-improvement issues, if you're having weight issues, whatever, book a fucking call. All right, later, guys.